Check WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. Don Moeller, former Baltimore County executive, our partner in crime here for all of our Baltimore Positive segments, which you can subscribe to everywhere you subscribe to your iTunes, and you get your podcast, and of course at AM 1570 as well. Big thanks to our sponsors at State Fair. Don is over in the 21228 where life is great. Life's even better because he can drive by and get chicken and waffles very easily from where he is, and from anywhere, not just the 21228 and the 21202 where I am. You can order those Fadley's crab cakes online. They're shut down at Lexington Market right now. And Don, of course, his son, Moeller and Gary Realty, and Jeff Moeller in the buyatoyota.com audio vault. Jeff was asked the always tough question, you're going to hug mom or dad when all this is over with. Don, did he give you the right answer?
Oh, I told you that he gave you the right answer. He said he had two arms, but then shortly after the show was over, I got a text from my daughter, who, of course, couldn't resist the temptation to tweak her brother a little bit, and she said, Jeff, I hate to disappoint you, but the answer to the question is Mom and Dad are both going to hug me before they get to you anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, I figured there'd be a fight about all that, and, you reached to me 2 weeks ago at the beginning of this, and last week we did a lot on education and talking to Dr. Santelises and Dr. Williams about all that's going on. We've just had a bunch of county executives on, a lot of politicians, a ton of mayor candidates. We've been in that space, and when this thing happened, you said next week we're going to do arts, and I know you reached to Fronda Cohen, and this has been just a wonderful couple of days spending with various people who've given their lives literally to the Baltimore arts scene. Most of them, if not all of them, shut down at least physically, some online. But when Fronda came up with this one's near and dear to me because I am way, way, way overdue in having Gina Caruso on from the Creative Alliance over my side of town. And the Patterson Theater. Gina, first off, welcome in. I can't tell how many pizzas we've had at Matthews and how many times I've run up and down, whether it's Chicken Rico and my dear friends at Gino, Coney Island Hot Dog, and I always get an Icy Delights up there. I was going to the Patterson Theater. I saw Jaws there. I saw the Amityville Horror there. I saw Stripes there. So I'm going back 77, 78, 79. Welcome in. I do feel remiss in not having you on to talk about all the awesome stuff because so many people I know are connected to you.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, we're 25 years old now.
Wow.
So we're legal. We're even more than that.
Hausner's has grown up into condos around you. I remember going to Hausner's, and I'm sure Don had a couple of meals at Hausner's back in the day as well. The whole neighborhood over there, I still drive through, come through all the time, park my car, run out, grab a pizza, whatnot, and I always see activity in and around everything you've built there.
Well, that's true. We have a lot of activity. It's really a joyous, celebratory place. And we're, a multifaceted arts organization, so it's not just about exhibitions. It's more than that. We have 400 events per year, and we have 18 full-time staff and about 100 part-time staff to do all of that. But we have big festivals that are really exciting in Patterson Park, and we just do so much with the community. It's all about the community. But we have really high-quality programs. Really wonderful performances, about 130 of them per year. And there are people from all over the world on our stage. But we also have people who are local musicians playing with people from all over the world. And it's really, really exciting. And we have tons of things for kids and family.
Well, Gina, talk about all that, if you will. Talk about that for a second, because I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you talk, listening to Nestor talk about where he grew up and he knows Matthew Speeds and all the others. I think when folks listen to these interviews on Arts Week, they'll know the Hippodrome, they'll know Walter's Art Gallery, they'll know the Lyric Center Stage Everyman. They might say, well, I've heard of this Creative Alliance, but I'm not really sure what it is. So sort of break it down for folks who are in their cars right now. Tell them what it is, what you do, how they find out about you. Really give us a sort of a Four Dummies intro into Creative Alliance.
Okay, so really what we are is we're multi-art, and we serve everyone in the community. We want to be a really welcoming place for people of a variety of ages, cultural backgrounds, where they can come together and enjoy spectacular art. So it's for everyone. So if you're a mom and you've got kids, there are arts programs, there are workshops, there are festivals, and if you're a dad, too. And if you're, a couple and you have an expendable income and you want to see an amazing, really cool music, this is a place to come. We have all kinds of music from, like, experimental music, but that probably isn't of interest to your listeners, but, like, really great music that's, like, anywhere from, like, rock, banjo, something from Africa, from all over the world.
By the way, I'm reading from the website here, and Don will appreciate this because one of our first guests on Baltimore Positive, of course, Don, Barbara Mikulski was involved in this. Yeah.
What a shocker that Barbara Mikulski would go to fight for the Creative Alliance, right?
In Highlandtown, no less.
She actually really helped start the Creative Alliance back when she was a senator, and in her earlier years, she helped raise the funds because that was her neighborhood. She grew up there. She was a social worker there, and she wanted to reignite the neighborhood, and Creative Alliance did that because the neighborhood at that time was really struggling. You might remember that.
I do.
And it was a way of, like, bringing people in the neighborhood to do really fun, engaging things. It was just... Yeah.
I grew up in Highlandtown every Saturday morning, right? So, I mean, I took my guitar lessons at Jaeger's Music on the second floor with John Shand in the 1970s, and my mom and dad in Epstein. So, I mean, that whole area is so familiar to me, and it's so I'm so comfortable there always. And, I know that I'm of Hispanic descent, and there were no Hispanic people in Baltimore in the 1970s.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when I'm in that neighborhood, it's a place, I go on the other side of the park and great tacos and great tortas and great local and speak the 200 words of Spanish that I can actually conquer, with friends. And the neighborhood has changed dramatically from what was, and I always tell my wife is of Polish descent, and I said, the whole neighborhood was Polish, and when I grew up in that, and a lot of Jewish shop owners, a lot of places were closed on Friday nights and Saturday mornings when I was a child, and I bowl at the bowling alley and Mikulski's. I didn't think of her as a politician. I thought of her as a baker.
Right.
With her family. There is so much history here. And for you to be a part of this, through all these years, I look at your history, and full disclosure, I had never been to Hawaii until about 5 months ago. I'll be 52 years old. And the first thing I've told people about Hawaii 5 months after getting back is I don't know why it took me so long to go, but you've got such a rich history and lots of different things, and Honolulu Museum of Art and a Washington Post magazine as a photography editor. And my background's at the Baltimore Sun many years. Maybe that's why we share so many. But where we are in 2020, something like the Creative Alliance comes along. You put this thing together 25 years. You've been a part of it for so long. Then everything stops, right? I mean, a couple of weeks ago, for everyone in the arts community, all these people that are associated with it are now all, like all of us, 6 feet away from everyone, right? I mean, this has been a very difficult thing for people who gather, where the entire spirit of everything you've built is to gather people and bring people. That was Barbara Mikulski's vision, to bring people to Highlandtown. Now you can't bring them. This is a difficult period, right?
I really appreciate what you're saying, and particularly that your background, that you have a Latino background. You and your wife should move back to Highlandtown. It's like Latino, it's still Polish, and we still embrace those cultures. And in particular, we've done a lot of work with a group of women called the Artesanas Mexicanas, which are a group of, it means women artists, and they're from all over Latin America. And they celebrate and they honor and they share their cultural traditions with families, with people. So you can make piñatas, you can do papel picado, which is like really beautiful paper cutting, craft. I mean, there's just so many cooking. They have brought so much life into the organization. And we have support from the National Endowment of the Arts to support the work that they do. So they go to festivals, they teach dance, they teach music. They have brought so much life into our organization. And one of the things that's been particularly hard for me is they are one of the most vulnerable groups that's been hard hit by this because, it's harder for them. They're struggling, and we're doing everything we can by creating activities online for them so they can teach their cooking classes. They can send out their art kits. They have a kit called like a Fiesta kit that we're sending out, and we're delivering. The staff is delivering all over the city. They're playing music. They're doing so much. We're activating so much so that people can donate to them online. 100% going to them, not to us, to them, because we want to keep them going.
Well, you keep them going, and then I'll take them up to Alamo for my people. My Venezuelan will get some arepas, up in Canton, about 15 blocks away. I mean, when I think of Hispanic, I just want to eat. That's what my
And they do a lot of cooking, and they teach cooking in the schools. And we're an after-school program, so we serve like a bunch of after-school programs, and they are in there with the kids, teaching them, wonderful recipes that they learn from their moms. I mean, it's just so fantastic.
Same as me. That's where I got my arepa recipe from my stepmother, Ingrid, who taught my wife how to make them with the pan. And we boil down the chicken and add the peppers and the pimento. Yes, absolutely. Don, man, now we're talking, right?
You have to have him on as a special guest.
Yeah, we need to have you on as one of our guests to teach your cooking.
Do I get to eat?
There you go.
From your mom.
As long as I get to eat it, I'm there. Count me in.
Gina, you guys are doing so. One of the things out of these times that are so challenging, there's so many inspirational stories. And I'm looking around and I'm checking on the Creative Alliance. Evidently, I can hire musicians to come play outside my house now to give me a little uplifting feel. Talk to me about that.
Oh, okay. So that was our sidewalk serenades, which we will resume when the building reopens or is safe, when we're safe to do so. But what that
people are going to need that, Gina. Tell them how that works.
Yeah, we just ignited that. That's a new initiative as a result of this, because the staff, Josh Kahn, who's our performance director, the staff is so incredibly creative, and immediately they came up with this great idea. They're nimble, they're resilient. So the idea is that we hire these musicians, and they go and they stand on your lawn or safely on your porch, like 6 feet away. They're like wandering troubadours, and they play for like 15 or 20 minutes, and people would, pay like $75, have them come to their house. All the neighbors would come out and sit on their stoops or out on their lawns and listen. And it sold out. It was so popular. We had like 100 going. And we did this in 3 or 4 days. The staff came up with it, got the musicians in place, put the marketing in place, got it out there, and there were musicians all over the city playing to uplift the spirits of Baltimoreans. And it was just so joyous and fantastic. And people really needed it. But we had to shut it down because of, public health and safety. So we'll have it start up again.
Well, I can't wait. I mean, I just thought it just sounded. We know that music, it's such a cliche, but music and the arts touch the soul. It makes us feel good. And speaking about feeling good, we talked in another one of these sessions with Ron Legler of the Hippodrome. I'm sure you know Ron, and Ron also is an owner in the Pulse nightclub where they had that horrific shooting in Orlando several years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm thinking of the importance of diversity and inclusion, and I was really struck by this drag story time that's emphasizing inclusivity and acceptance, and it's going out evidently at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You've got to tell us more about drag story time, because it just sounds, again, so uplifting in these dark times.
So we have this wonderful new staff person named Aaron Barlow, and this was his idea and his initiative. So he is Betty O'Hellno. He is a drag queen, and he has hosted many drag events at the Creative Alliance, including Rocky Horror. He is the host of Rocky Horror, and we could not do it without him. He's delightful. He's a wonderful
Do they still
person.
throw rice at the Rocky Horror?
Yeah, well, we create all the game packs. And
it can get a little messy. I did some Rocky Horror back in my day. Yes,
but we sell out. It's a week-long event. at the Creative Alliance and people come dressed in costume and we play the film, it really takes you back to the 70s.
Well, I mean, you do all sorts of things. I mean, I remember when you had a whole dudist festival, for a weekend, and I, as a practicing dudist, and I finally shaved today because I was totally going, all in. I was abiding that. I see all this stuff pop up. I mean, you and I on LinkedIn have let's see here, 78 mutual links. So wow. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are very connected to what you do on the East Side and all the things going on over there. What got you back here from Honolulu?
Before you
go
do
ahead.
That, let's let Gina finish her story about drag.
Oh, go for it. I'm sorry. Go for it.
There.
I'm happy to talk about it. So Aaron, who just is so connected to everyone in the drag world, not just in Baltimore, but in New York, he just figured out who we should hire. It was an idea that we started a couple of months, I don't know, about 6 months ago, and it just took off. Families really enjoyed it. So they're just, you should go to the website and see it because they have a variety of books and they get in costumes and the kids just love it. So, I mean, you sort of think of Mrs. Doubtfire. I hope I'm not insulting anyone, but it's really sweet. It's really, really sweet. So it's sort of like, drag mom by day, wild mom by night, wild woman by night.
It's the bigger message out of that, Gina, what I was struck by, and I don't want to read too much into it, is the bigger message in that this whole concept that if we're going to solve this riddle as to who we are as people on this planet, we've got to do it together and inclusively. Is that what you all are trying to communicate?
Yes, absolutely. It's all about really accepting that we all bring something unique to the table. And so we want to share that. We want people to feel welcome. No matter what your age, no matter what your cultural background, religion, even your politics, we want to be a place where people can come together and have conversations, not just close out the conversation. We want to be open.
Incredible space they've built.
Then you don't have to.
They're over what I would call the Patterson movie theater. It is the Creative Alliance. You can learn all about their work at creativealliance.org. Gina Caruso is our guest here. She's the executive director. I wanted to take this back because I'm reading your bio and I see this incredible Honolulu background and I'm thinking, what got you back? I mean, obviously you have this incredible passion for doing this, and you really took over as the executive director last year, but you've been back here for a number of years. I'm thinking what could possibly get me off the North Shore if I had a gig there and I was near fresh pineapple and all the shrimp trucks and all just the shave ice. When are you going to have a Hawaiian shave ice night? That's what you need to have.
Hawaii. I loved Hawaii. It was a wonderful place, but this is my home. Even though I wasn't born here, my son was born here. My husband's from Dundalk. He's an artist. We're no longer married, but he's my son's dad. And I loved Hawaii, but Baltimore, I had a bunch of friends from Baltimore who lived in Hawaii. We used to get together and talk about John Waters, and people would bring their burger cookies and share them. And people would say, "What is wrong with you people?" Because we just miss Baltimore. Baltimore is a great city. It is so full of life. It has that, friendliness and hospitality, that feeling of joy that you get in Hawaii, too. There's a lot of aloha in Baltimore. People are really, especially once they knew you, it's such a hospitable place. And the arts are so alive in Baltimore. Like no other place I've ever lived. I've lived in New York City and I've lived in Boston. And this is the best city for the arts. It's so collegial, so friendly. And particularly, at the Creative Alliance, I just feel this wonderful feeling of collaboration. There isn't this feeling that I'm going to collab, I'm going to compete with you, and I'm going to get it, and it's not yours. There's this feeling of, how can I help you? How can I help you be successful? And I love being in an environment like that.
Well, I'm looking on your website here, and I'm trying to get through this. All right, we're going to give away April. We're probably going to give away May. Let's hope we get a little better in June. Let's, and then the golden ticket I see here, Saturday, November the 7th. you have a ball. And, one of the things I started Baltimore Positive was a couple of years ago. Bill Cole from Cole Roofing said, I will sponsor WNST if you do anything except talk about sports. You have to talk about anything but sports, and I want to sponsor that. I said, well, I want to do community and charity work after my wife's leukemia illness, and she's gotten better and doing well. I said, I want to do something. So I've tried to have people like you on 2 months before every big, I say your Super Bowl, your big event of the year. This is your 25th birthday masquerade gala. Moeller, you got to grab Linda and the kids and whatever, okay? The golden ticket marquee ball. This sounds like something I can get Willy Wonka with. Am I crazy? Yeah. Give me the theme on this here.
That's right.
You love getting dressed up. You got him.
It's Halloween.
When you said masquerade ball, Gina, you had him ready to go.
So tell me about that, because that would be something that would be like a me coming back to the old Patterson Theater and thinking about seeing Joe. I want to do this. So it's $75, $70 for members. I'm in as long as I'm not someplace with the Ravens that night, because that's Saturday, November 7th. We'll have a new mayor by then, right? So I want to be a part of this. Come on, tell me about this.
Well, so it's really fun. People get up, all dressed up in costume. We have all kinds of activities. We have an open bar. We'll have food. Then, you got it. The theme is Willy Wonka, so there'll be all kinds of chocolate.
Oh, I got a jacket. I got a jacket already.
People just decked out in their costumes in the theme. I mean, so many unbelievable costumes. Just coming to look at each other is the thing to do. And then the music. There's music all over. There's music in the theater. There's music in the bar. It gets packed. I mean, it sells out. So there are like 600 people in the whole building, sometimes more. I shouldn't say that because that's probably breaking.
I know the fire chief and he's, but it's okay. It's all right. I know people. We'll have a different mayor by then.
We didn't hear that. We'll pretend we didn't hear that.
Yeah, we'll make that work.
We like the fire chief.
Don,
I'm doing flame throwing.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking on here, their 25th anniversary honorees, one of their 3 honorees getting the Golden Formstone Award is probably, and this is no disrespect to any of our Baltimore Positive alums, the people that have been on this year. This is going to want to make you go, Don Moeller. The pride of Catonsville, your guy at UMBC, Dr. Freeman Rabowski being honored that night during the Willy. He better have a costume. I'm gonna have to talk to him. We're gonna have to work costumes that night.
Talk to him, please.
As you know,
no, we're really.
As you know.
He rescheduled. He is on it. He is coming. He wants to get his Golden Formstone. He's not missing
listen,
out.
So as Nestor, and I'm sure you know Dr. Rabowski well, Gina. As Nestor knows, on my list of top 2 or 3 people in the world that I've ever met and that I am just in awe of and so proud to call a friend is Dr. Freeman Rabowski. I think he is just a national treasure. So if you're honoring Freeman Rabowski, Nestor's right.
Well, here's the part.
What's
Don,
that line from the movie? You had me at hello.
This was supposed to be in 3 weeks. This was supposed to be this month, and it got moved to sort of like Halloween, which is going to make it even more fun, right?
Yeah, that's true because, we have the great Halloween Lantern Parade that we do in Patterson Park, and it draws about 10,000 people. And they're, community bands and people who carry these, amazing events like colossal, beautiful floats. And it's so fantastic. And people make all their own glowing lanterns, and they go all the way through the park. And it's just fabulous event. But then, just a few weeks later, we're going to have our 25th gala, which is all in masquerade and costume. And it's, it's the way that we do Mardi Gras in Baltimore.
Nice.
Nestor likes the dress.
I knew I was going to like Gina Caruso. I knew that.
I knew you'd like Gina, what's the first
I didn't even know her husband was from Dundalk. How about that? So, I'm a Dundalk guy, so that works. Perfect.
What's the first thing you and the whole team down there at Creative Alliance, what are you going to do when we get the all clear? What do you look forward to doing when they say, all right, we're open for business again? What excites you?
Either we do 2 things. We do something it's incredibly huge kind of festival with the whole community, bringing everybody together. It's going to be this incredible celebration. or because of whatever rules and regulations there are, it'll be something really intimate but just beautiful and uplifting and inspirational. So that's what I think. Whatever we do, it's going to be fabulous. Fabulous is the word.
Because we're going to be together doing it, right? I mean, I had to ask Moeller's kids, are they going to hug mom or dad first? You know, I mean, that's where we are. It is really, who are you going to hug first, Gina?
No. Who are you going to hug first, Gina? There you
Hopefully, my son was supposed to graduate from college this year, get married, and he was going to go into the military. So I think I'll hug him first.
All right. Well, we're all in this together. What can people do to help the Creative Alliance right now?
Well, I would love it if they would just go to the website and see all the really creative activities that we have on there and, donate to the Artesanos Mexicanas. We're going to have a fund for musicians that we're building soon, so that would be something that they could also participate in. But we just have all these activities that they can take part in. And we just want people to know that we're here to give the community strength and hope and solace and uplift their spirits. So that's what we want people to know.
And by the way, I'm on your website. Help support the Artesanas and yourself to two-ply cotton face mask. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I want to send people. There's so much on your website. You artist types. There's just so much going on there. You will bring the masks to people, correct?
It's just amazing because when times are hard, creative people get creative. So the Artesanos Mexicanas, they're going to be making really, great masks out of, the right materials. And these aren't for doctors. These are for people in the public, just to kind of keep themselves safe and the people around them safe. Well, so that's what they're for. But they will be making, 4 of them per hour. They'll make about, this is our guesstimate, about 24 a day. And then we'll get out and deliver them to people.
They're beautiful, too.
So
they're beautiful.
We're giving some for free. We're giving some for free to people, and then we're asking people to buy them. And 100% of the donations go to the Artesanos.
Wow.
I'm glad I saw that.
Nestor, what do you think of Arts Week so far? Nestor?
So far, so good, man. We're learning about it. And the one thing about the arts community here is I think you see it and you feel it. You say, well, we got to go to New York, or we got to go to Chicago, we got to go to Nashville, we got to go to Vegas, we got to go somewhere else. There's just so much going on here, and I'm glad we can spotlight it. We will be over for a pizza and a visit and a mask and Willy Wonka and all that good stuff. We've made a new friend, Gina Caruso, joining us here from the Creative Alliance. We appreciate you. Make sure you're staying calm. Keep it local. When the dude will abide. Next Dude Festival, I'm there. Trust me. I've been in my pajamas for a month.
Much
Thank
for having
you, Gina.
me on your show. I really appreciate it.
We'll have you back.
Fun.
Gina Caruso joining us here from the Creative Alliance. Learn more at creativealliance.org. Big shout out for our sponsors at State Fair. Evan Brown, I ordered 10,000 chicken tenders the other day. Still waiting on my first one. You can have the chicken tenders back. You just send me the raspberry sauce for the chicken and waffles. That's what I need. Also, our friends at Fadley's, you can deliver crab cakes anywhere in the world, even Honolulu, maybe. I don't know. Can they ship them there? Maybe. I don't know. Go to Fadley's.com. Damie will tell you. She shipped on some cream of crab soup over to Catonsville. So maybe just ship me some mac and cheese. I miss the mac and cheese at Fadley's terribly. And the fresh fish. Moeller and Gary Realty also sponsoring us. Jeff Moeller in the buyatoyota.com audio vault. And I'll leave that open for whether he's going to hug mom or dad first. You can learn more there. We are talking to artists and art folks, and we have just and everything special about Baltimore. The zoo, the aquarium, the science center, the BSO, the Creative Alliance, the Hippodrome, the Lyric. We've been talking about all of it this week. You can find it all at Baltimore Positive. Make sure you are subscribing. I am Nestor. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. We're combining things here. I'm getting my hair like Mel Kiper in time for the NFL draft. We are WNST.net, AM 1570. Keeping calm, staying local, abiding, and always staying Baltimore Positive.